The Journey program on UBC TV.
My name's Kasiri Sendagire Muhammad, who was looking forward to come as a Lord Mayor. Actually, most people call me the alternative Lord Mayor because I was in the race of Lord Mayorship to take over Kampala city, to see change in the capital city of Uganda, Kampala. Things probably, when it comes to democracy, did go well, only that we still have issues with our democratic systems within the part of NRM. So there was a lot of issues that went on that probably we need more to discuss as a country if surely NRM government came with a purpose of fighting towards democracy and having a good public system that probably I know that President Kaguta Museveni wants and was fighting for. So there are a lot to discuss and a lot to check on within our systems. Kasiri Sendagire Muhammad, day in, day out, we continue saying that our journey, first of all, I'm born from Mulago. Mulago, that's where I'm born from, and my mom was a nurse, so meaning she was a public servant. My dad was a broadcaster. Sendagire Musa was working, of course, with UBC then fled out to South Africa, and that's how my existence really came in. We joined politics after realizing that a lot wasn't so perfect, most especially in the system or in the city where everyone thinks it's where an opportunity comes from. Gone are the days when one could get an application papers, go in the city and probably think of getting a job. Today it is no longer there. So the city is so covered up with mafias on all levels, whether in the private sector or in the government lines. So we probably came in to see that we bring in a new face of Kampala. People working, let me say, those that are in private sector work and gain out of their works. Then those are in government work with the protection of the city. What is not done now, what is not talked about now, if I had gone through as a Lord Mayor, is discussing the capital city to build it as a city of others. We are more building this city as our own Ugandans. There is no city that will transform if it's built on interest of its natives. Cities must be built attracting others to come and first invest, 2, to create jobs, 3, to create an environment of people elsewhere to come and work. If Dubai did not advertise itself better, if Dubai had not advertised itself better as a global market center, probably Dubai would not be where it is. All big cities in the world advertise themselves to attract others to come and create businesses for the natives. So it is not done today, it is not discussed, and I doubt whether it will be discussed tomorrow. One. Secondly, if we talk about East African integration, East Africa coming as one, who else is discussing East Africa coming as one when it comes to city formulation and design? Because cities like Nairobi, like Kampala, were designed by Ernest May. Ernest May was a Russian. So if they were designed with one person, why not somehow designed to have the same look? Something done in Kampala can probably be done in Nairobi. If today you leave Uganda and you go to Nairobi and you are stranded, is there a program that probably would harbor you? So these are the things that we would like to discuss as a country, as a city. President Kaguta Museveni, first of all, when it comes to what I would expect him to do, we saw it during elections, before, partly, and during elections, when the president, wherever he could go to places as in looking for votes, he would directly talk to Mwananchi, the lowest person. So we expect the president to hear more from the lowest person in this country, not the president perhaps that Ugandan had in mind that was more getting information from the people around him. So the people around the president now, we think that they are going to be the Mwananchi. The people around the president now, we think they're going to be that lowest Ugandan at his lowest point. First of all, I congratulate President Kaguta Museveni for having passed through a tense time of elections and having won the 2026 or 2031 elections. We congratulate him as a candidate and congratulate NRM altogether. I would like to talk about the sovereignty bill. The sovereignty bill is like Ugandans, we are more taken up by the present politics. We are not more reflecting on our journey, on our past as a country. When you look at the sovereignty bill, first we are talking about the sovereignty bill in a government that has existed for over 40 years, meaning that this government well knows about governance, well knows about the strength and the weak point of governance, not only in Africa, not only in East Africa, but global-wise. We are talking about governance with its head is the chairman of NAM. NAM is the second to UN, meaning that he's knowledgeable about governance, he's knowledgeable about governance and administration. So if Ugandans first misunderstand or misquote the sovereignty bill, protection sovereignty bill of 2026, there is a problem. One, it exposes Ugandans who have been getting more money on behalf of the poor. Ugandans who have been getting money that actually other people don't know and have been benefiting more. So if government interjects now, a government that first of all came as a military governance, then later on it joined democratic, being a democratic state. But remember, it came with in a military format. So it better knows the interferences, it better knows the interjections of foreigners in governance when and how. So at such a point like now, if government, if the sovereignty bill, the interest is to protect Ugandans, the interest is to protect the sovereignty of a country, then why not to support it? Why not to support it? Because I've been seeing many leaders, all in different angles, religious leaders, traditional leaders, trying to bring up issues in a format that they were not satisfied with the bill. As Kasile Sendagire Mamadi, all the people who have been in the parliament and discussing about this bill, they were never discussing about Uganda. But it's like they were responding to the president in particular. Which thing I think Ugandans should change the format of doing things. Yes, it talks about the penalties, but the bill is more on security lines. The bill is more on protecting Ugandans. Who knows? Who knows if the inflow of this foreign money without government knowing what exactly it's going to do, it would probably take off the government off track completely. Yes, most Ugandans have looked at it in the economic perspective of, yes, it may bring in inflation, but what is inflation with protecting your life, with protecting your business, with protecting who your sovereignty as a native, as a nation, as a national? Because there is no country that has gained power that doesn't have these sovereignty lines. Even if it's United States of America, its sovereignty will be seen both in information flow, in information intake and information outtake. We've seen very many times in information intelligence, people have been arrested in these so-called superpowers by just, bringing in information or taking out information in the country that probably may distract the governance. When it comes to government, after 40 years, probably its speed, the speed of the bill, definitely I might suspect that government has already, within its means of intelligence, I suspect that government has already seen that there are some foreigners that wanted to use the exact mean to put down this government. Because when you look at the speed government is taking on this, and when you look at the defensiveness, the defensiveness is not for all Ugandans, but it's rather for particular Ugandans and more opposition. Yes, we've seen them in parliament, but these people are communicating to the president, to the executive, and not to the country. And that's where the problem is. The spirit of which this bill is passing is first to protect Ugandans. When it comes to trade order, a lot has been happening. And among the things that have been happening, you know, when it comes to leadership and doing this thing of service delivery, there is no way in governance you can do service delivery minus using the law. Trade order has always been there. And trade order, it is in the spirit of beautifying our places and creating order in the trade systems. One, it started with Kampala, and it was successful. Successful in a way that traffic is now better. And when you look at people where they are working from, downtown, at least the environment is more superb and better now. But the issue was trade order when the Ministry of Local Government decided to give orders to town clerks elsewhere within the country to make sure that they enforce when it comes to trade order. Now, I took two things. One, I blame government for not coordinating better and well. Because you see, trade order wouldn't be a problem if government also at one point showed interest of protecting Ugandans. Yes, enforcement can be done, but as government, is it also helping up people with counseling? Because these are different people in different perspectives. Ugandans are only demanding government to see it doing something for them genuinely. If enforcement is planned, let us also plan to give these people alternatives. In Kampala, it was better done. That yes, enforcement is done, but alternatives are here, and people will know the alternatives. But now we expected government this time round to at least put counseling sessions as an alternative. Because remember, we are a growing country. And President Kaguta Museveni is, during elections, was more preaching of socio-economic transformation. And Ugandans believed in his words, trusted him, and gave him votes. So it is a time now that during governance after elections, government should plan and people should feel that government caters for them. That yes, if enforcement comes, let us put counseling as well. We're missing Minister of Gender in this. We are missing, people are misquoted, people misquote the orders from government. Today government says people should leave, trade order should stop. The next day trade order should go on. It shows a black spot and weak point in governance, and most especially in coordination of ministries. First, I would like to first appreciate Ugandan government when it comes to fuel. Because you see, the way Ugandan government is handling this issue, probably Ugandans have started now to feel, but there are countries who started feeling the pain and the pinch of these wars way back, weeks ago. When you go to Kenya, they started feeling the impeachment or the pain as a country when it comes to war that are going on of Israel and Iran way back. So first, I appreciate the governance of Uganda and what they have tried to do, really. Now, when it comes to fuel, government should increase on its information flow. Government should come out to protect its natives openly, not just negotiations, because now Ugandans feel like there is a game that is going on within the owners of petrol stations and government itself. Or if not that, most of the government officials who are owning these petrol stations, they are undermining whatever comes within government. Because we all well know that these petrol stations are not only for private, just mere businessmen, but some are owned by big officials from government. So if one denies whatever comes from government and keeps on skyrocketing the prices, it means they are undermining government. So government should come out, protect the people, talk about the prices, so that we can have a balanced country. NRM government has done perfectly when it comes to service delivery, because I well understand that there are other countries elsewhere that come here for benchmarking. Benchmarking not only in governance and administration, but benchmarking also in the speed that Uganda is having when it comes to economic growth. Yes, it is true, Ugandans may not feel the increase or the impact of increase of the economic strength of a country in their pockets. But when it comes to to national. You know, it's like sitting in a car and the person seated, you don't feel the speed, but people outside will feel the speed of that car. So countries elsewhere can see the speed that NRM government has taken or is taking towards economic transformation. The president has always said that transforming a nation is a process. There was a time when the president could not even mention about economic strength or transforming people economically. There was a time when Uganda, you could not even talk about, you know, economic strength. That time was a time of terror, where government, NRM government, had first settle or prioritize security. And now that time, for the fact that now it's done and it's gone, security, we have it already. There was a time when NRM government concentrated in infrastructure development. Roads are built, electricity is everywhere. So now, if all that is done, the president and NRM government is concentrating on economic stability and transformation of those that, of course, are not that much well. And I know how much that funding, the foreign funding, has been helping people in education sector, in health sector, even pastors themselves running these religious, in different angles. But we should, as a country, bypass that point. Because when you look at, for instance, a country like Libya, for instance, in Africa, one of the ways that probably foreigners used to distract that government was through funding. So probably the government of Uganda now, it is trying to protect itself from such. Who knows? So what does it mean, or which sense would it have for us to have jobs today, having billions from foreigners, but when tomorrow probably we shall have destruction and all the good and that is built is gone? Because whether opposition or NRM, we should be discussing the country called Uganda. And talking about sovereignty, we are talking about absolute power and control. So which government do you think will have absolute power and control if it doesn't have power and control over its finances? Which government? Even if it's US, they will protect the money coming in and money going out. However, I stand firm with the big question of, if government looks at money coming in, government should as well look at money going out for the betterment of Ugandans. Because it's like this bill is one-sided for the foreign funders, of course, who bring in money. But how about money going out? We are having here companies that are private companies. Private companies like MTN, for instance. It's a private company, but who knows and how much money flies out from Uganda. We are having foreigners building up companies here. Who wants to interest himself to know how much is moving out? Government is not looking at a person who is a kubacheyo and is sending money. No. And besides, government has put, the interest of government is only to know what the money is going to be used for. That is the interest of the government. And if it's now, it means it had reached a point. Because I want to believe that government knows better things that probably citizens or natives take long to understand. At a time like now, I think government has already intelligence that tells it that, okay, you see the money coming in such and such and such, through business lines, through some religious leaders, it is to, you know, to impact on governance. So, government is trying to protect itself. It's trying to protect more of Ugandans. So, the spirit of government bringing this bill, it is for the betterment of Ugandans, the majority, not the few, who have continuously been earning and getting money and not doing what exactly that money was sent for. When we talk about governance, we don't only talk about money. Because most people may dislike NRM for what they have in their pocket. But there are a lot of things that bypass that level. There are many people abroad that actually now are yearning to come back home for the peace that we have, for the environment that Ugandans live. So it is true there are Ugandans who suffer abroad. It is true there are Ugandans who are striving and working hard in different countries. People only look at Dubai and the UAE, but there are also Ugandans in Japan. There are Ugandans in India that probably are not, their working conditions are worse. So, one, it's the responsibility of government to pick interests, know where Ugandans are and how they should be protected. They say the father of sovereignty is Jean Bodin. Jean Bodin. I think he was a politician in around 1529 or something like that. You see, the sovereignty bill, I repeat, it is more to protect Ugandans and governance. There is no way we can continue talking about independence of a country when government can detect that there are people who want to use funds to interject or distract the peace that we have today, and the government goes silent. It is not only done in Uganda, but it is done and it has been done elsewhere, even in most African countries. It is a more way to make these African countries inferior. So if government comes in, it is for the betterment of Ugandans now and in future. First of all, as Kasirye Sendagire Mohammed, I would urge government to be more serious when it comes to governance and the people of Uganda. The people of Uganda have already accepted NRM. They love it every time when NRM comes in, but there is still, that weak points that government should concentrate on. The questions of the people should be answered. If President Kaguta Museveni believes that by 2031 there will be no opposition, that means it's time now for government to answer questions of Ugandans. Because opposition is not an individual. Opposition is also a mindset state of the people of the country. So if opposition must go, government should also be able to answer their questions. First, I would urge all Ugandans for the fact that we went elected President Kaguta Museveni on 12th of May. Let us all go show our love to our president when swearing in. Thank you so much. I wish you the best.
UBC, inspiring Uganda.
You notice where there is leadership and wealth, there is stability, peace and prosperity. Peace is there. Where there is wealth and family, there is satisfaction, peace and multiplication. Peace is consistent. I said where there is family and fellowship, there is happiness, peace and belonging. And I said where there is worship and fellowship, there is joy, peace and security. You see peace. Where there is worship and life, there is satisfaction, peace and eternity. And I said where there is life and leadership, there is sustainability, peace and development. So why is the word peace continuous? Peace in every aspect of life. It's because Jesus Christ is the Prince of Peace. There is no peace without Christ. And so all this stuff I'm talking about, peace is the main thing. And what is it a product of? God. God is peaceful. God is peace. He desires that we enjoy his peace. But today, I want to talk about the satanic forces that attack these 6 aspects. So I want to talk about what is the satanic force that attacks leadership.